What's up, you guys? It's Layla Lynn. I'm back with another video, and I am enjoying recording vertically. I love this. I love it here. I wanted to talk about destiny swapping when it comes to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, specifically Porsha and Shamea, even though I think it happens, you know, with other women on the show as well, but specifically Porsha and Shamea. Destiny swapping, if you're not familiar with that term destiny swapping, it's when someone sees you doing well, like you're chasing after your goals. Maybe you want to be a content creator. Maybe you want to be a reality star like Porsha. Maybe you want to be an architect. It's when someone sees you chasing after your goals and they have never dreamed that dream that you're dreaming, that goal that you have has never been their goal, but they see you being successful, or even they might see you struggling in it, but it gives them the idea that they can do that too. They can do that too and be successful. And so I feel like that is what has happened with Porsha and Shamea on both ends. I feel like Shamea, because she is a singer, an actress, the host, the dancer, I feel like she saw Porsha get fame on Real Housewives of Atlanta and felt like she can get that too. And I feel like Porsha saw Shamea marry very, very wealthy, a very, very wealthy man, and she felt like she could do that too. Forget Cordell type of worth. We talking about up there. And so if you look at the timeline, when Shamea and Porsha grew up together, but they shared that their siblings were actually the same age. And you know, when you're younger, it matters who's the same age, who's in the same grade. And it was their siblings that were the same age. They weren't that close. And Porsha and Shamea have both shared that they got closer when Porsha got married. And when Porsha got married is when she came on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And a lot of people don't always acknowledge how new of a newlywed Porsha was when she came to the show. And so her saying that that's when her and Shamea got close is the same as saying that's when Shamea gravitated toward Porsha, even though their moms had beef. And we're going to come back in another video to their mom beef, because that's a whole different animal. But around this time, Shamea is gravitating toward Porsha, who has the spotlight, even despite what their mothers are saying about each other. And I feel like it's because Shamea wanted the spotlight. And I feel like when Shamea got married to Gerald Mwangi, his alleged net worth is in like the hundreds of millions. It's not even with the Google, you know, Google being off and everything like that, we don't know it exactly, but it's up there. Like I said, she takes an elevator to her elevator. You know what I mean? So his net worth is up there. And I feel like Porsha tried to destiny swap with Shamea when it came to marrying a wealthy man. And Shamea supported her, just like Porsha in the beginning supported Shamea coming on the Real Housewives of Atlanta in the beginning. But I feel like what happens when it comes to destiny, I feel like your destiny is for you. That's why it's your destiny. And so you can see where they both failed. The destiny swap failed at both ends. Shamea felt like coming on this platform, Real Housewives of Atlanta, would give her like the fame and the network. But you can see where she doesn't really have the fame of Porsha. Being on the platform is not enough, is what I'm saying. Just like Porsha marrying Simon, a wealthy man, just like Shamea married a wealthy man. She got that platform. She got that marriage, but it's not enough. They're both still failing. Shamea doesn't have the support inside the circle. She doesn't have the support of the fans like Porsha does. Porsha doesn't have the marriage like Shamea does. Like, it's a failure on both ends. And I feel like it's because you cannot just see someone else doing well and feel like you can copy what they did and have success as well. It's not always that easy. Like, you got to dream your own dreams is what I'm telling you. You have to dream your own dreams and you have to follow your own destiny, because trying to destiny swap with someone else, you can get that platform, but it doesn't mean you're going to get the same result that they got. All right, you guys, so when it comes to Shamea, I also want to talk about this. I have had this in the back of my mind ever since Shamea released that apology video. It felt like her mother, and I think her aunt was also there, it felt like spiritual manipulation. It felt like she got this praying mother, this praying auntie that convinced her if she released this video apologizing, which is really humbling herself. That's the reason she apologized, because I don't think it was very specific. It was like a general apology, and I think the purpose was to humble herself. So it seems like this praying mama and this praying auntie convinced her, if you just humble yourself, you know, before these women, everything will work out right. And so it didn't work out and it was not authentic. I don't even think Shamea knew what she was apologizing for. I would have to jog my memory. What did she do wrong? But in any case, I want to talk about the effect of being with someone who is so spiritual, like being raised with someone, by someone who's so spiritual to where their opinions become the word of God. Shamea's mother's opinions, I believe, have become the word of God in her life because her mom is so spiritual. I bet you she's a prophet or something like that. And I feel like a lot of times people use religious positions and claim to have certain gifts that are really them just being controlling. And so when K Michelle came out, even though it's been doubted, K Michelle came out and said, Shamea's mother was at the club, had typed up and was praying for her, and she was so confused, even though it's been clarified through pictures from Shamea from that night that her moms weren't hyped up. It was being exaggerated. K Michelle was exaggerating Shamea's mother's look, but I don't think she was exaggerating the experience as far as being spiritually manipulated. I think what K Michelle was saying was her mother was praying for me, and her mother was praying that I would be on Shamea's side on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And that is spiritual manipulation. Like someone praying for you to do a certain thing when it's really your choice. It's K Michelle's choice whose side she's on, and it's Shamea's choice, whether she wants to apologize to these girls for I don't know what. That's Shamea's choice, but I feel like it's spiritual manipulation. So when it comes to Shamea on this show, I feel like part of the reason, which is going to come up now that they're in Scotland, the whole issues of the mothers. You want to talk about mothers. It's all going to come up. And I feel like behind the scenes, Shamea's mother is glad that it's coming up. Because for all these years, what we've known is that Shamea's mom allegedly bought Porsha's mom's daycare when it went to foreclosure. Porsha's mom's daycare at that specific location failed. And allegedly, Shamea's mother purchased that specific location. When we talk about destiny swap, you know what I mean? It's all there even between the mothers. But Shamea implies that it was deeper. Like when her mom purchased the daycare location, it's because the friendship had already fallen out. Like something already happened. A lot of people think this has something to do with a man. We're going to see. Because we don't know. We're going to see if it has something to do with a man. But a lot of people feel like maybe Miss Diane stole Miss Shamea's man. Miss Mama Morton's man. Like we're going to see what it was. But I feel like behind the scenes, Shamea's mother, part of the reason she probably wanted her daughter to be on the show is to clear her name. Like at some point, I feel like she's telling her daughter, at some point, you got to clear my name on what really happened with these businesses. And so I feel like Shamea's mother is almost like a puppet master, and she uses spiritual manipulation to where her opinions are received by Shamea as the voice of God, because her mother is probably phrasing them as, God told me this, God told me that. And it's almost like a man. If you ever been in church and a man of God tell you, God told me you're supposed to be my wife, and they want you to receive it like the voice of God. It is manipulation, okay? It is manipulation. And yes, your mom can spiritually manipulate you to do what she wants you to do. And I feel like a lot of mothers play chess, not checkers, with their daughters. And I feel like when it comes to Miss Diane and Miss Sarah, that they are playing whatever beat they have, whether it's about a man or it's something completely different. They're playing chess, not checkers, with their daughters. And Miss Sarah, Mama Morton, Shamea's mother, wants Shamea to clear her name. And Miss Diane already made it clear. What did she say? The dog that bring a bone will carry a bone. Like, she already made it clear how she feels about Mama Morton and Shamea. And so I feel like on Shamea's end, I don't know about Miss Diane, but on Shamea's end, I feel like her mother spiritually manipulates Shamea. She tried to do it with K Michelle. That's why K Michelle left the club crying. Like, who leaves the club crying? But I feel like that's why she left the club crying, because she was being spiritually manipulated, and she knew something wasn't right about that.